Good morning, good morning, good morning. Tina O here from Tina O Life. Welcome back to the call. It is, it's a December morning. I'm out on my deck. You know, if you've been watching this series, you know this call series is a bunch of conversations as I share my own stories about what it was like for me to answer the call in me to do the work that I do. I'm a core story specialist. I'm a professional listener. What I really do is I tune in to the call inside of you and I listen, and together we put words to what that call is, and then we build a message around that. With my writing partner, I work with Mary Beth Dean. We have an amazing writers retreat coming up right now. Can I just say that right now, even though this is about the call series, whatever. We're going to Joshua Tree, California in January when it's warm in the desert. We're going to the desert in January. Come. We're only taking 6 people. We have 4 spots left right now. So if that sounds like you, come. So today we're going to talk about what if I'm talking out my bum. And if you are listening and you know you have a call inside of you, but you're not quite ready to name it yet, and I get that. It's a very vulnerable thing to say, I got this thing to say, to do, to be, to offer, to create work around. And I can't really explain it. This is what's running through your mind, I'm sure. I was talking to someone the other day, and it was so great. She's like, yeah, you know, I just don't want to be at the Christmas dinner table and be that person when people say, well, what's new? And you're like, oh, I don't want to talk about what I'm doing because you're not going to believe me and you're going to think I'm nuts. It's a vulnerable thing, one, to name that there is a call inside of you, a message to give, a talk to create, a work that you're here to do, and it doesn't fit in all of the other categories of, you know, job titles out there. When somebody says to you, what do you do? And you're like, oh, please don't ask me that. Please don't ask me that. Please don't ask me that. Because I do this, and I actually do this thing that I don't even know how to describe it, right? That's where I come in. I'm that girl. I'm the core story lady. I give a listen to that thing that's hard to hear, and we put language to it in a way that an audience or people, community, whatever, can receive it. So, this series, I'm sharing my own stories about how I came to that place so that you can recognize, oh, I have a version of that. Oh my gosh, my call is coming for me too. So, this is what if I'm talking at my bum? And you'll actually hear me say that a lot when I think I'm making stuff up, meaning I haven't heard it from somebody else. It may or may not feel like it's connected, if you know what I mean, like it's called inside me, but there's something. I'm like, okay, I'm making this up now. I might be talking out my bum. So there is like the reality of just making stuff up, and people do that, right? But then there is another version of it where you're not actually making it up, but it's coming to you as you're speaking it, or it's coming to you as you're writing it, or it's coming to you as you're walking it. And you're not talking out your bum there. It's coming to you. And if you don't believe in that, because that's certainly possible too, there's a lot of linear processors out there who still have, because we all have, a seed of who we are and how we're here to live inside of us. I would call that your core story. I would call that the call. How it wants to live in the world is yet to be determined. It is telling you. But if you're like, man, I just don't think I buy that stuff. I don't buy that for $1. I'm out. Then what I say to you, so that you know you're not talking out your bum, is to track it. So as a core story gal, when I do my first call with people, it's called a core story call. I listen in for the story that is always played out for you, again and again and again and again. This story has a double-edged sword to it. one side of it is like the core love or the core medicine that you give the world, that you just show up doing it. It's like you can't help yourself. You're the person who always wants to love on people. You're the person who always listens to people. You're the person who always hosts or nurtures or cooks the food, right? You're that person. You can't help it. You don't even try. It's just what you do. You're the person who puts blankets on people. You're the person who gives people money. You're the person who gives people advice, whatever it is. You can't help yourself. You're just doing it. That's your core love. You can track that too. What have you always given? Always, 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 always given without effort. If I stuck you on a different planet, if I put you in a different country with a different language, you didn't know the culture, you would do it anyway. That's your core love. Your calling is also connected to that core love, that thing that you always do, because what you got for free is who you're here to be. Nobody's here to work their life through tons of effort. And let me tell you, it's because this human experience has enough effort alone. We have enough effort here. We got bills to pay, we got children to raise, we got dogs to take care of, we got cars to fix, we got jobs to go to. That has enough effort in it. The rest of this stuff, who we're made to be, that's all we're here to do. What you got for free is who you're here to be, because it's effortless. Okay. The other side of the double-edged sword is your core poison. Okay? And you can track that too. So it's like, man, it's a story you can't run fast enough from. It's like it dogs your trail. And I can look at, and you can look at the experiences of your life that always lead to the same narrative. And your calling is about that too. So for example, there's 12 core stories that I've come across, and I'm not going to say that that's all there is. I'd like to say that, but I'm not a divine being like that or whatever. I don't have all the answers, right? But I've only come across 12 so far in the hundreds of calls that I've done. My story of those 12 is the You Matter story, which means on my deepest, darkest, crappiest, most despairing days, what I hear in my head is, I don't matter, this doesn't matter, none of it matters, forget about it. And what I give the world on the core love side is you matter. Your story matters. So when you track the pain or poison, core poison, I can track I don't matter in my life since the day I was born. And yet I can also track I totally matter since the day I was born. It's the double-edged sword. I can track the moments when the rug was pulled out from under me, or at least it felt like that. And the thought that I had was, or the feeling I had was, I don't matter. I can also track all the times I've been with people and I could see that they mattered after our exchange. And I can see when people have made me matter, what that does for me. Your calling is connected to that core story. Going back to our first call where we talked about the narrative, the story stone that drops in the water and ripples out, right? It ripples, and versions of your story ripple and ripple and ripple and ripple until it becomes one with the water. Your calling is directly connected to the evolution of you as a human being. And that evolution of you as a human being is directly connected to that double-edged sword of what grows you. Sometimes it's going to be your love that grows you, because your love can expand to as big as the sun. Because you are the sun. You are part of the sun. You can expand as big as the sun. And sometimes it's going to be your core pain that expands you. I'm going through I'm going through probably the hardest, effortful year of my life. It is taking every ounce of energy for me this year. And I can tell you, it is also, and I don't like to package stuff up in pretty bows, let me tell you that. I'm not like one of those positive thinkers. And I'm not saying that that's bad. I'm just saying that it's only part of the story. For me, it's a double-edged sword thing. I will tell you that the effort of that core pain, of that core poison, of that edge of my sword, of that part of my story is calling me up. Calling me up. Think about the ripples. As I move through this ripple, as my friend Kieran, I'm trying to think of her, I'll link her. I'm trying to think of her business right now. Anyway, Kieran Dejare says, in our traumas or in our karma, we have pins, and what she does is she helps people pull the pins out, right? Like a pin cushion. So in my core poison in this ripple, is this experience of, in this effort part of my story that I'm in right now, in this core piece, it is all about like daily, sometimes minute by minute, thinking, oh my God, I clearly don't matter. This doesn't matter. But it's calling me to take it head on. Walk into it purposefully and look at the calling inside of me to do what I'm here to do unabashedly, and have faith as I walk through this time on the path of my calling, on the path of giving the world my core love of you matter. As I face my own version of I don't matter and continue to give the world you matter and give myself I matter, that ripple softens. Your calling of what you do in the world as a core story lady, my calling is to listen to your story and to deliver the world you matter through the skills. Remember that thing on my third call, I think, about those unexplainable skills? And to deliver the world to the world you matter using those unexplainable skills that I have to stay on that path. Back to not talking out your bum. I can track it. If you think I'm talking out my bum, I want you today to look back at the double-edged sword moments of your life and say, what have they always said? What have they always told me? What has always hurt? What has always been amazing? And it's directly connected to the work you're here to do in the world. And I'm telling you, your work in the world doesn't have to be like life-changing for the world. It doesn't. You are called because you are alive. You being here is enough. Some of us are here to do something really big, meaning the public sees it. But you might have a really private one. And that's cool, right? Like in this world of everybody's on screens all the time, like we're the private people. They're not on screens, but they think they need to be, and you don't. I'm just putting that out there because, I do have famous on my hat. Because I'm built for screens, I'm built for the public, but not everybody is. So I don't want you to judge, okay? I'm Tina O from Tina O Life. My sister's watching. Hi, Edna. Yay. See, it's so funny, Edna, because I'm talking about you matter. And it's so cool that you're here. So cool that you're here because it's like my own story of mattering. So thank you. That's so cool. I love that timing. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Okay, everybody, I'm Tina O from Tina O Life, and this is The Call conversation, tracking stories for you of my own stories and sharing them with you for you to recognize. Love you too, Edna. For you to recognize your own call inside of you and give yourself the greatest permission to go be who you're meant to be, who you're created to be, and know that the very fact that you're here breathing is the call. It is that you are called here to be here, and there's something beautiful and magnificent and home inside of you to live, give, and be in the world. Keep tuning in, and we'll see you again. Have a great day, everybody.